His name struck fear across continents. His armies destroyed millions. Cities turned to ash, and his conquests reshaped the very course of world history. This was Genghis Khan. But when he died, something even more mysterious happened. His body vanished. His tomb was hidden, as if the world feared its discovery would unleash disaster upon humanity itself. Legends say rivers were diverted, forests replanted, and everyone involved in his burial was slaughtered to erase all traces. And now, centuries later, the veil of secrecy trembles. Archaeologists claim they may have found the tomb of Genghis Khan. But with the discovery, ancient legends have reawakened, whispering of a curse that will fall upon anyone who dares disturb his rest. Today, we explore a mystery balanced between history and myth, the tomb of Genghis Khan, a discovery that could change everything. He was not born Great Khan. His given name was Temujin. Fate had prepared him for a brutal childhood in the cold Mongolian steppes. His father was poisoned by enemies, and his family was exiled, left to starve. The boy had to survive in the wilderness, feeding on roots, berries, and whatever small animals he could hunt. He saw betrayal up close and learned one lesson: loyalty must be earned, not inherited. These hardships forged him into someone who believed kinship ties were weakness, but discipline and devotion were true strength. This would become the foundation of the army that would soon change the world. By the early 12th century, Temujin achieved what had long been thought impossible, uniting the feuding Mongol tribes under one banner. And he did not rely only on force. He destroyed the old order and built a new one. The Mongols were not just warriors, they were a living storm. Their strength lay not in numbers, but in organization and strategy. Genghis Khan replaced tribal hierarchies with a decimal system. Squads of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 warriors. Commanders were chosen for merit, not bloodline. A herdsman could rise to general if he proved brave, intelligent, and loyal. This created unshakable devotion and unmatched efficiency. Their core weapon? Mounted archers. Mongols learned to ride before they could walk. They lived on horseback, nourished by dried meat, curd, and in desperate times, even the blood of their horses. Their attacks were lightning fast, waves of arrows, sudden retreats, then ambushes. Cities fell before they even fought, paralyzed by fear. Mongols turned terror into a weapon, piling skulls into pyramids, burning cities, and using captives as human shields. But Genghis Khan was not only a ruthless conqueror. His genius was revealed in his ability to transform chaos into order.
At the core of his power lay the Great Yasa, a code of laws that ensured discipline and order across his vast empire. It protected envoys, merchants, and even guaranteed religious freedom. While Europe burned with inquisitions, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and shamans coexisted in the Mongol domains. He knew conquest alone could not sustain an empire. He built a system where skill mattered more than titles. Scholars, administrators, and engineers from conquered lands, Persians, Chinese, Muslims, all held high offices and contributed to the empire's prosperity. His pride was the yam, a relay postal system, a medieval internet. Couriers could travel 300 kilometers a day, carrying orders and news from the Pacific to the Caspian. This bound the empire into a single body. The result? Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. For the first time, vast territories from China to Europe enjoyed relative stability. The Silk Road flourished. Paper, gunpowder, and the compass traveled westward, while European merchants like Marco Polo ventured deep into Asia. Genghis Khan destroyed cities, but he also built a world that functioned like clockwork. This paradox is the essence of his genius. The circumstances of his death are as mysterious as his life. Some chroniclers claim August 1227, but even the date is uncertain. Theories abound: death by disease, typhus, malaria, or plague, a fatal arrow wound during a siege, a fall from his horse, or even a lightning strike, seen as divine judgment. What matters more is how his death was concealed. His army could not know, nor his enemies. His body was secretly returned to Mongolia. And thus began the legend. All who took part in his burial were executed. Thousands of horses trampled the ground to erase signs. Rivers were diverted to flood the grave. The great Khan vanished into eternity, taking his final secret with him. After his death, his burial site became a forbidden land known as Ik-Korig, the Great Taboo. Centered around Burkhan Haldan mountain, entry was strictly forbidden. This sacred area was guarded by the Darkhads, hereditary protectors whose sole duty was to safeguard the Khan's rest. For generations, they lived as the living wall of the tomb, passing down their oath. Thus, the tomb became not just a place, but a living legend.
For centuries, adventurers and scholars sought the tomb. Between 1989 and 1992, the Three Rivers Expedition by Japanese and Mongolian archaeologists examined over 1,380 burials in eastern Mongolia. None belonged to Genghis Khan. Later, National Geographic's Albert Lin used satellites, ground-penetrating radar, and crowdsourced analysis. Strange anomalies were found in the Khenti Mountains, but no excavation followed, out of respect for local traditions. Others searched obsessively. American lawyer Maurice Kravitz spent 40 years on the quest, facing bizarre illnesses, accidents, and nightmares. Many whispered of a curse. Alan Nichols proposed a radical idea. The tomb was not in Mongolia at all, but in Inner Mongolia, near the Yellow River. Yet no conclusive results emerged. Every expedition raised more questions than answers, as though history itself resisted. Then came the shocking news of the 21st century. Archaeologists claimed they might have found Genghis Khan's tomb. Excavations were tightly controlled, involving UNESCO and even UN observers. Every step was taken with cultural and spiritual consultation. They uncovered a complex burial chamber, ceremonial weapons, armor, scrolls, food vessels, preserved with astonishing care, and a skeleton of a warrior leader from the 13th century. Silk and wool fabrics, ornaments blending Chinese and Mongolian motifs surrounded the remains. Radiocarbon dating pointed to 1227, the year of Khan's death. Genetic tests revealed Central Asian lineage consistent with his ancestry. Scholars remain cautious, but the evidence is overwhelming. Some call it one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of modern times. For the world, it was a breakthrough. For Mongolia, it was a dilemma. Genghis Khan is more than history. He is a national ancestor, almost divine. His face appears on currency, monuments, and in schoolbooks. the thought of disturbing his rest filled many with dread. Among nomadic communities, old prophecies resurfaced. Disturbing the tomb would bring disaster, war, plague, natural catastrophe. Rumors spread fast. Beyond mysticism, practical debates arose. Who owns the tomb? Should artifacts remain in Mongolia or be displayed internationally? Should the details even be revealed or the tomb resealed forever? The discovery became not just an archaeological issue, but a cultural and spiritual trial. The tomb of Genghis Khan is more than a grave. It is a sacred mystery bound by centuries of fear, reverence, and legend. Scientists seek knowledge, DNA, artifacts, insights into medieval life. Yet the ethical question looms. Do we have the right to disturb a man still revered as a sacred ancestor? Some propose compromise, non-invasive technologies, remote sensing, or reburial according to tradition. The Darkhads, descendants of the original guardians, may once again be entrusted with the secret. This mystery reminds us that history is not just records and ruins. It lives on in faith, in fear, in memory. How humanity treats this secret will reflect not only what we learn of Genghis Khan, but also how future generations will judge us. The tomb of Genghis Khan is not just the answer to a historical question. It is a mirror showing us our thirst for knowledge, our ambition, and our fear. And the choice we make may be more important than the discovery itself.